Here's another example of a different kind of selection structure, the if else selection structure. Pretty much looks like a loop, but let's go through what it actually is. So, I mean, the example is basically an application where you enter your grade and it displays a message with a comment of what your grade actually means. A excellent, B above average, and so on and so forth. So to do this or to code this, we can go through two different ways. Version 1 is what we just learned, the nested if-else structures. And the code is basically after you define what button and what kind of action you want to do, then you declare a string called grade, and then you have to do something with that string. So after you input the whatever the user inputs in the text box and assign it to after you assign it to the grade string, then it checks for the grade and has several nested if-else structure based on the grade itself. So if your grade is A, then you should display excellent. If not, or else, if your grade is B, then display above average. If and then if not, then C average, or if it's not A, B, or C, then go to the next else, and then it again checks for if grade D, or else grade equals to F, then it says message label, or it says below average. And if it's like none of these, then the final else basically gives you an error statement. And after all this, like, there's a bunch of end if statements which basically correspond to each of these nested if else statements. Now, even though you can do it like this, it can be, at least it's confusing for me to have all these if else structures nested, and it's sometimes hard to figure out where exactly is your program or which nested structure it's actually looking at. So a better way, or a more simple way to do that would be the way it's done on the right side in version 2, using the if else structure. So basically here, I mean, the starting is the same. If it checks out as A, then we display excellent. Then you use the command else if grade equals to B, then display this, else if grade C, display that, like that. So even though it's kind of the same idea, it just looks much more compact than the previous way of doing it. There's no more a bunch of end if at the end. So it basically like goes through each of the if or else if, and then figure out what it needs to do.